When dreams don't work, people go in search of degrees. But when degrees don't work, one have to look up to the dreams. Hello everybody, my name is Rohith Saraswathi, born and brought up in Bangalore, studied in RV School, RV High School, RV PU College, RV College of Engineering, RV MTech. So I'm an RV product, by the way. After I graduated from RV College of Engineering, I went ahead and started working with a company called as Nestle, which is a world's #1 FMCG company. I was posted in Haryana. Now while I was working with Nestle, I got a call from ABB, so eventually I switched over to ABB. During the penultimate working of my tenure with ABB as a process development specialist, questions such as who am I, what am I here for, what is the purpose of me coming to this planet, am I here to take the salary at the end of the month and pay the bills, or am I made for something bigger than what others expect me to do, is what the questions that started popping inside my mind. So that is exactly when I picked up a pen and a paper and I wrote down these lines. If you don't take risk, you can't even eat rusk. Now you may ask me, what is the risk that you have taken? Well, I say I gave up on the job which was giving me almost 6 digits of salary per month, along with the tuitions that I used to take. Let me take you back to the school days where the dream started waving all on its own. So I was also one such kid who used to do such nonsense thing during the classroom, during the teacher teaches the subject. So one fine day, my class teacher, she was teaching us geography, and there was a small picture of Mount Everest which was printed in the textbook. Other damn mischievous guy happened to be my close friend who was sitting right next to me. He called me, "Hey Macha, there is a small picture of Mount Everest printed here. What do we do with it?" He asked me. I said, "Let's decorate the picture." We both picked up blue, black and red pen and we started decorating the picture. Teacher was lost in her own world, whereas both of us, we were lost in our own world. Now what does a teacher do when you get caught doing such nonsense thing in the class? Chalk thrown, okay. But my teacher did exactly opposite of the same. She called both of us on the stage, she ridiculed us in front of the whole class, and she said one thing which I may not be able to forget it until I go to grave. She said, if you guys put on something here on the piece of textbook, only we the people of classroom get an opportunity to see it. But if you go to the actual Mount Everest and put on something there on the mountain, all the people round the world going to that particular place will get an opportunity to see whatever you have put down on the mountain, is what she said. Now those words got engraved on my mind. Fast forwarding 16 years later, while I was working as a process development specialist in ABB, this particular incident got me connected to the incident that happened when I was in the school. So I thought, okay, maybe my dream would be going to go see the tallest peak in the world, that is Mount Everest. I come from a poor family where my dad works as a daily labor. So if I go to my dad or mom and tell them that I have got a mood to go to the Mount Everest, so please give me some money, there comes one chappal flying in the air. So you can't afford to ask money for the parents. So that is why I thought, okay, why don't I do it my way? Up until that point of time, for the last 2 years between 2014 and 2016, I had read about hitchhiking of people who used to do it in the Western countries. So I thought, if somebody like me can do it in some other country, why don't I do it in India? That was the beginning of the thought. So I gave up on the job. I started the hitchhiking journey. I went all the way from Bangalore to Kathmandu, that is 3,100 kilometers, without spending even a single penny. It was one big challenge of its own, but I enjoyed it thoroughly. Because I personally believe that each one of us have a small kid who is sitting inside each one of us. Given a chance for the kid to play his or her role, he or she will bring wonders for us. But by stopping the kid, all that we do are just the blunders. Now once I put my foot on the tallest peak in the world, coming back alive from that place was not so easy, because I was completely stranded in such a horrible and horrendous situation where the temperature was minus 38 degrees. The wind was gushing at 155 km per hour and there was a severe snowfall. A person who had come from China, he was accompanied by his guide. and his guide had instructed him not to take out the shades no matter what. This person from China, he just took out his spectacles so as to pose for a photograph. The snowflakes that came and rammed into his eyes at 155 km/h, and his entire eyeball turned into pitch black within seconds. He lost his eyes forever, man. Imagine you are standing right in front of him and you are all alone. You do not have a guide also. That shook me from inside. Exactly 10 hours later, after I came back to the hotel room where I used to stay in a place called as Gorakshep, I happened to see a very big group who had again come from China. They were celebrating for two reasons. So in that year 2017, 29th Jan was their new year, and these people, they were celebrating for one of the reason it was new year, and second reason it was they had successfully hiked up until the base camp and they had came back to the hotel room. There were 10 people feasting on one particular table, and there was one person who had completely left out of the group. Went ahead to him and I struck a conversation with that person. To my surprise, he was a professor from Shanghai University where he had worked for more than 28 years. We spoke about thermodynamics, we spoke about integration, differentiation, calculus and whatnot. What more can you expect when two teachers come together? Because I teach the students who are in 11th and 12th class physics and mathematics. I have been doing it for 18 years now. Trust me, that was one of the best conversation which I had in a foreign land with the foreigner. Following day morning, the very same person, he was no more. He died because of acute mountain sickness. We call it as AMS. In the medical terms, it is called as cerebral edema. Standing in front of his dead body, I asked myself, if I am the person who is going to die right after 12 hours, am I going to live the life others expect me to live, or am I going to live the life that I really want to live? So while coming back to Lukla where we start the trekking, the mother mountain, she made me realize that I am not as big as you think I am, but you are not as small as you think you are. When the mother mountain made me realize this one, I just did not wanted to get back into the corporate life that I was working earlier. So I thought of solving the problem that our country is facing. The moment I talk about the problems that our country is facing, you will recollect the problems such as unemployment, poverty, education system, so many things. Majority number of people will always fail to notice the problem that we are going to discuss right now. Our country do not lack dreamers, man. For sure, it lacks the people who are willing to die for their dreams. Not metaphorically, but literally. When I thought of solving this particular problem, constantly I broke my head for almost one complete year after coming back from the mountain. So that's exactly when I came up with this particular logo, which has come after 112 iterations, which means I designed it for 112 times, I put it into the dustbin. 113th design is what you are looking at right now. In my viewpoint, chasing dreams happens in 3 steps. 1, 2, 3, which is why CYD, that stands for chase your dreams. Step number 1, people like you and I will have to set our dreams so big that it should create a sense of danger inside our mind. That is why it is red in color, that denotes the danger. Of all the presidents India have seen so far, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, he has a special place in our heart. In one of his speeches like this, he comes up and he says, whenever you tell your dream to the next person, if he or she doesn't laugh back at your dreams, then your dreams are not big enough. The moment you take a very first step towards the dream, which itself is half done, while completing the remaining half, every single person will be made to go through a lot of pain, rejection, dejection, frustration, agitation, irritation. Because going behind dream is not a cakewalk. Meanwhile, every single person will be pushed into the darkness part of chasing dreams, because like I said earlier, it is not a cakewalk. So that is why it is black in color, that denotes the darkness. Even if you fall for 99 times, if you can put yourself together, push yourself onto the track for the 100th time, like the way you started at the beginning, with the same excitement, enthusiasm, motivation, determination, courage, focus, grit, whatnot, the list goes on. If you can try it for the 100th time, like the way you started at the beginning, then for sure you can take it for granted that you are going to bring your dream into the limelight. That is why it is yellow in color, that denotes the limelight. And the backdrop of the logo is green in color, because I personally believe that each one of us here have been gifted with infinite amount of evergreen energy to bring any kind of dream that we conceive in our mind into reality. This is the bike that I used for traveling the whole country. I had put up this board on the bike which read, traveling 10,000 kilometers inside India for creating awareness about chasing dreams between Kanyakumari to Kashmir. Okay, I did it in two phases. The phase one was to go from Bangalore to Kanyakumari and from Kanyakumari to Kashmir. While coming back from Kashmir, I landed at this point, Bhopal, that is the intersection of Y. From Bhopal, I put this circuit from going from Bhopal to Jhansi, Jhansi to Allahabad, Raipur, Amravati, Nashik, Udaipur, Kota, Amravati, Bhopal, Amravati, Bangalore. Now I just did not wanted to travel 10,000 kilometers, but I also wanted to meet 10,000 people in person. I asked myself, how do I keep the count of the number of people whom I meet on the journey? Printing the same logo stickers came into my mind. I printed 10,500 stickers and I took it along with me to the journey. Everywhere I used to go meet and greet people, I used to put it on the chest of them and click a photograph. You can see the people from all the walks of life, and everybody whom I happened to meet on this journey are in this picture. I just want to shamelessly admit it in front of all of you that I failed big time. I couldn't meet 10,000 people within 21 days, but I ended up meeting only 4,380 people within 21 days. Now, which is again a big number, right? This is the beautiful part of going behind extremely big things. Even if you fail very, very big. Now, once this happened, I came back home, my own mind started pushing me. You conceived this idea of meeting 10,000 people, but how are you stopping at only 4,380? That's when I asked myself, where the young people of our country is sitting? Schools and colleges is what my mind answered, and that's when I started going to schools and colleges. Now, once this was over, as you all know, 2020 is when the coronavirus brought down the whole world to its knees. We got to know that we may not be able to go to any of the schools and colleges for the next one complete year. So that is when I thought, okay, I have the stories of more than 4,380 people whom I have had an opportunity to meet on this journey, and on the other hand, I had the cell phone. I thought, why don't I bring these two together? So on 9th May 2020, I thought of telling one story per day for 365 days. I wrote the story, shot the video, edited the video, and I posted the video at 11:58, 2 minutes short to 12 o'clock. This just did not stop at 365th day, but it went on for 534 days, missing only 2 days. Why am I telling you all of these things is because, like I said earlier, words can make impact, but actions are infectious. I just did not wanted to make an impact, but I wanted to, inspire people or infect people from within to push them towards their dream. Now, as a result of this storytelling, on 9th May 2020 is when I started. 9th May 2020 is when 2021 is when I completed 1 year. And the very next day, that is 10th May 2021, I was sitting in a news channel and giving an interview about the very same storytelling series that I had worked upon it for 1 complete year. Now, why am I telling you this again is because even if you pick up as simple as storytelling, if you can do it so consistently for years together, even your art will be recognized and you will be rewarded for the same thing. This is just one simple demonstration. Now you may ask me, what exactly are you looking for? Well, I am trying to go around the schools and colleges to meet the young minds of our country and sowing the seed called as the big dreams into the young minds. We know it for sure, it may not bloom and give flowers or fruits overnight. It may take a week, a month, a year, 10 years or 30 years down the lane. I am being positive, for sure it is going to happen. I am just down with only 6 years, another 24 more years to go. Now, if one person come back and tell us that because of stories like this, we have set a dream, we have worked on our dream, and this is what the dream story that we share. If one girl or one boy in the corners of a country who is sitting eagerly waiting to get inspired by stories like this, if they come back and tell us their story and inspire us with their story, is the day we consider this particular work as a successful work. Up until that point of time, is this a failure work? No, absolutely not. It is a progressive work. These are some of the lessons which I want you all to take back home after this talk. If you are having a fear of failure inside your mind, please trust me, the only way to overcome that fear of failure is to do more of what scares you at the most, because fear is the purest form of illusion that lies only inside our mind but not in reality. Lesson number 2, if you continue to work on small dreams, you will continue to get small results. But if you continue to work on big dreams, you will continue to get big results. What you invest is what you harvest. As simple as that. Now, most of us, we give up on our journey in between is because we expect. So please stop expecting immediate results, because that way you are going to ruin your chances of hitting the goal at the first place. 90 to 95% of all of our mental problems will be vanishing just like that the moment we stop thinking what others will think about us. The reason is because all of us know that we are all not immortals but mortals. All of us here all of us here are standing in front of the death. As and when the death comes, we'll have to leave behind everything and go. So when we know it for sure that we are going to die, why should we have to stop ourselves by looking at the people and thinking what others will think about us? So please stop doing that. So last but not the least, stay obsessed with helping others, because only when you help others is only when you will be qualified enough to receive help from someone else. So for the last 20 to 23 minutes, you are all being very kind to me. So thank you so much. Be kind to everyone.